We kind of talked about the road commission.
What's that? Only seen small stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing worth taking.
Yeah, me too.
Building this week?
Near us. I went out Saturday and Sunday. We're usually shutting down at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Thanks for the donut.
Change flow. But I haven't seen anything.
Really?
Shot a doe Sunday morning. But, we got a coyote opening day.
He took a big deer up there. I mean, there's some 8 acres wide.
There was some good ones. I've been watching Facebook in Kentucky, Indiana, Iowa, Georgia, and the hell was the other one? Alabama. There's some monsters. But I'm beginning to wonder if maybe some of these have ranches.
Could very well be. I know
They're way too big too.
they're way big. I mean, I saw some that were sitting laid them on the ground, freaking racks this fall.
Don't get me wrong, since we put the point restrictions, we've seen some good bucks.
Yep.
The first 2 days, I don't think there was even, I think we're out of the rut.
Weather's good this year.
Well, I got so damn warm, they were right out of the rut. For sure.
Yeah, the rut wasn't very long.
So this week, it starts all. Gonna have to wait until they get some snow in the ground.
How'd you run into there? Is this what they have conditions? Is what the conditions design. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a slap in the face. I don't get it. Why are they so strict? And Justin and all the rest of us that we're just satisfied because they're able to speak out.
Well, we initially voted for it.
Yeah, well, we should never.
Secret, why wouldn't they come and discuss this? We're embarrassed to death. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why non-elected officials are supposed to be.
What's that?
A non-elected official. That is true.
And Jen's very good speaker. I just think that,
I agree. You're right. You're right.
I'll say to you what I just went down the line and said, cherry picking wages.
Huh?
I said, cherry picking wages, you're leaving out a whole group of people, that department heads. If you're gonna start handing out raises to elected officials, you've got several department heads that work just as hard, if not harder. And I know your thought, I know, I want to put that in.
What gets
I
me
was
with,
so
what
embarrassed.
gets me with this is we gave them 5%. That's more than the COLA increase. My thing with this, and this is my thing all along, I'm taking care of the damn taxpayers.
I don't know. I'm embarrassed. embarrassed, totally embarrassed.
Elaborate on that.
When you have elected officials blindside you without a conversation, why would I do that?
The spokesman isn't even elected. This is bullshit. And then somebody get up there and re-rate 5%, but then turn around and advocate for all that.
It's creating a divide. And
Here's my thing with this. We have to look at the budget. Okay. My thing is this: we can bring a budget back to where we're showing that our revenue is over increasing. We can do something for the taxpayers by lowering some millages. So basically, we're telling the taxpayers to screw it.
I get it, And I work hard at keeping you saw my budget. I don't do that so that other people can get raises. I do it for the county.
The sorry part of this is, take your sheriff. In the last 4 years, he's got 3 wage increases. When's enough enough?
I don't know. I'm upset. This is, I don't.
If I don't have thick skin, I don't need it. They can say whatever you want. Well, we're taxing these people right out of their damn homes.
I know, Joe, I know.
And then turn around and say, well, we're gonna give $85,000 worth of raises.
I don't. Well, I don't know.
This is my last one, I'm done.
I'm done April 30th, so.
Unless they recall me before then, and if they want to recall me, recall me.
That might happen.
You want me to give you names?
Would you? Okay. No, I'm not. How about you? They don't.
I'm about ready to go get another one, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Oh, I know. It really bothers me.
Take a lot of room.
Yeah, especially for me, I'm letting two guys stand here.
It's horrible. It's All right. Yeah. See you later.
Hey Val, you want to go out this door?
Oh,
They got the lift right over top of the door. Yeah, it might be kind of dangerous.
I got a hard hat
Would-
for you.
Yeah, you walk out, you're lucky.
Going in my-
The thing would fall down on you, so.
Just because you have 2 weeks, yep, you're going.
Tim, we got all that stuff out.
I think it was 25.
Oh, yeah.
Two nights.
Okay.
I don't know. Do I?
Oh, well, yeah.
Common chairs.
How's it going? Good to see. 40. Wow, what a morning. Any shoes? Close enough to shoot? Oh, really? 40 and 4, how late you sitting today? Okay. Go back out there today. She did. Out of that it hot down there? Okay. Yeah, because that, since they quit doing cash crops down there, there's really nothing that comes out of the fields. Well, Timmy's is by that grove there. I don't even see jail. So. Well.
This is just
Okay. That isn't, so that isn't good. All right, so I just wanted to check in with you. No, man, it was a very interesting conversation. But, yeah, we're getting ready for our second meeting, so. And then tomorrow, I'll check on Thursday, we'll see what it looks like. Might bring something in the afternoon. So that's, so like, were you planning on doing your thing on Thursday? Okay, then we'll just plan on working the other side of the Friday. Yeah. Yep, and I think they'll appreciate getting back too. Right. Okay. It'll be 3:00. I go back 3:30. Seems like probably about 3:00. Just a good time for stuff to settle down.
We have a meeting after.
What's that? Yeah, the legal hunt time was 5:46. And I think tonight it's back a couple, 3 minutes. Yep. But you know what time it's leadership time in the morning? Opening day it was? I was surprised. What time do you think it was? What time would you guess it was? No, 6:53. Yes, that's what it says. For our area, it's 6:53. Just telling you. Well, it still bugs me about that. Well, in the morning, it might be 6 minutes reversed. No, it says right in the book, 6:53. For us, unbelievable. Yeah, again, it bugs me that buck standing out there in the hill. He did have big horn, but it looked like there's one spike with a couple of maybe upward times. Nothing. He did. It was that big, but he didn't. What horns did you see? How many points did he have on? Yeah, he hit great big, huge solid beams, but I couldn't put no more than 2 points. All I could see was the main beam. Could not see any brown tines. There was a little bumps on the top, and he was outside of the ears quite well. He was probably about 18 inches. And he was an absolute hog. Huge. He looked like a cow. Yep. I woke up last night. Oh, it's just right a bit. Okay. I'll let you know what I'm doing for sure. Yep.
The rest of us, we don't. The issue we have is without. Correct? Yeah.
Tracy, how did you have the court money? Was it the 26? It was up for 25.
I'm sure it was 26.
Because I think what he's doing is he's talking about next year's grant that they got awarded. But then he's telling you how much extra they need to do this year. Because in his memo, it says this year.
They asked for $7,321.18 for 2026 from Osceola County.
Yeah, because we have an application of 15, and we don't see it until he tells us how much we need. So we're paying this out. Because if you pull up his number, right now, it says this year.
That's the work packet.
Yeah. It's just a one page. I think my perception when he explained it was he was kind of talking about two things. I was on the topic for floor plan.
Oh,
He was first and he was just. Keep going, just look like. All budget stuff. Then the master. There it is.
okay.
So right here in the middle, this year. This is, so we pay this item now, because now at the end of this year, he knows where their money is.
It sounded like it was for 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to ask him for clarification or.
Because we did the vouchers. Every fall, we pay $1. And we put 15 in the budget, we haven't paid nothing yet. I'll tell you what, let's just take the year out of this, let's just put, we're gonna pay them the 1700 and just leave it be. Yeah, because every fall we pick it up. And the only other one right here, do you want to just add
Tim, I have a question for you. In the board bills, Parks has, yeah,
I need to look at the dates. He said one was from spring, one was from when trees fell. He said it was throughout the summer. He doesn't know why they all were.
The invoice only shows the date that it was issued. It doesn't show where the work was, when the work was done.
this tree work
So they're all-
dated 9/1.
They're all showing that the invoice was issued the same day, which was in October, right?
One of these was from when the trees fell.
That says 9/1, this one says 10/1. This one says landscape tree work at Rose Lake. That's 8/1. So, board bills are supposed to be submitted 30 days.
30 days.
And really, there's no description of when this was done.
Let's give them
So-
back to Eric and tell him he's gonna take it up and up again. We need more detail.
Well, first place, I don't care who it is, if it's a subcontractor or not, our policy says 30 days.
Well,
I mean, these invoices, but this here, and I've looked at it, this here has no description whatsoever. It just basically gives an overview.
One was, he told me that there was a question about it. One was for leaf cleanup in the spring, one was for when the trees fell on the transfer. And the other one was when the trees fell on the building.
Are there, did you get bids for them? I mean, just given the dollar amount, I don't know, like, if it was within your approval, because I think you can do up to 3,500, but there's three of them, so.
My suggestion is send it back. We want details of what work was done and the dates that they were done. So those three, we'll take them out of the bills, just ship them back there and tell them you want detailed dates and description of what work was done. And also tell Aaron from now on, if them invoices aren't here in 30 days, we're not gonna look at them.
As his supervisor, that conversation?
Here, those three.
call from here, when trees fell on the camper.
Pictures, it's not full out.
Yes, it
I got
has.
it, I filled it, I just still got it.
Tomorrow, I'm supposed to go to my buddy's.
Any date on it or something?
Oh. Might be a possibility to do something.
Send it back.
That's what I should. You listen to this segment that you might not lose. Oh, yeah.
At a point where you're, boy, hey, you're gonna be a granddad again.
Again, yeah, he's got a baby coming.
Oh, they changed, Kim said they changed it. Listen.
Wasn't, I just noticed that, but it wasn't that way when.
That's
we got it
complete.
This weekend.
Complete new format. Completely new. Was just into it the other day too, and it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Barrett was. They never showed up. What was that?
No, we're on.
Yeah. Well, same as the other ones. They got it all in one week and you're out. Great Lakes. Get this report. But they're everywhere.
I can eat it, please, yes. What else in the back here? Huh?
You got enough, Jim, or not?
And I call them. I never get a response. I think
Earmuffs.
I should call.
Yeah.
I should call.
Thank you. Yep. Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, they did a little bit of work last year. They're on the old Clayton Township. Did they? What's that? Oh. Some of those, they ran the main lines now, like that, the other time, they ran the main line. He couldn't connect. So he can't connect to the main line. It's- Well, he's trying to issue.
Because CCF is 100% funded and front of the court is 60.
All right, unfinished business. Elected officers' wages.
Good morning.
Morning.
I asked to put this on the agenda because there were issues that the elected officials felt needed to have a discussion with the county board. And so I did hand out this morning the law on how elected official wages are to be set. So you have that in front of you. That is the current law. It's not an opinion, it's the law. I also handed out to you the page out of your Guide to Michigan County Government, which the page I gave you was how, on budgets and how you set a county elected official wages as well. So if you don't have this book, you probably can get it. I know when you became elected officials as commissioners, you probably were offered an opportunity to go to the training and she puts on about how to do county business. And so hopefully you have it all, the book, but if you don't, I'm sure Tim can get them for you. But anyways, Judd is going to speak for the elected officials, but if you have any questions as we talk.
We are here united as elected officials to correct the record and make sure you guys have a clear understanding of what was rescinded at the last meeting. I'm going to read an excerpt from the Pioneer newspaper where they quote the county controller talking about the budget. It would be an increase of $237,645 for the 2026 fiscal year. What that looks like over 5 years, if it stays the way it is, we are going to pay an additional $1,230,000 or 15% of the fund balance. And that this would apply to 22 positions out of 165 positions the county currently has. While that quote was printed correctly, the information itself was not accurate. Here are the facts. We have 190 employees, not 165. 136 full-time, 54 part-time. The pay increase applies to 14 employees, not 22. The total budget impact with retirement and FICA included is $81,000, not $237,000. And after 5 years, the total of that will be $405,000, not $1.2 million. These inaccuracies matter because they shaped your vote. The board had a balanced budget, yet chose to rescind several motions that were negotiated in good faith. We held 5 meetings to reach compromise, and in a single meeting, those agreements were undone. That decision has deeply damaged the trust between this board and the elected officials who worked in good faith. Next year, it will be very difficult to compromise again. The sacrifices we made can simply be taken away after the fact. This is why we have lost trust in this board and the county controller. But worse than that, we believe this board violated the law. Michigan Compiled Law 45.421 clearly states the annual salary of each salaried county officer shall be fixed by the board before November 1st each year and shall not diminish during the term for which the county officer has been elected or appointed, but may be increased by the board during the officer's term. The timing of your actions matter because this law prevents the board from changing the wage of an elected official after November 1st. You guys advised us that you sought legal opinion. We contacted the same law office. They advised us they wouldn't be able to give us a definite answer without further research. We contacted another attorney. They advised us they could find 5 legal opinions that would be in your favor and 5 that would be in our favor. At the end of the day, only a court can determine what the law truly means. But by the plain language of the law, it appears this board's action lowered the compensation after November 1st date, which is prohibited. These issues come down to 2 things, a violation of trust and a violation of law. I'm going to yield the floor back to the board.
Thank you. Our legal opinion that we have states that we did not. We didn't reduce from the 5%. We reduced from the additional that we added above the 5%.
Our issue here is the facts that were given to the board when they voted were not accurate. They were off by a lot. The $237,000 doesn't even add up to $1.2 million. So how is the board going to make an accurate vote? They don't have the accurate information. And our issue here is the law states November 1st. And there's a reason for November 1st. It's so that you guys can't change the election. If the election results come in and that person that got elected is someone that you may not like, it prevents you guys from changing it. That's why that November 1st date is so important. The date matters.
And with that respect, if you're going to look at that, with that phrase you just stated. That would have been setting the salary at the beginning of the election term. According to what you just said, because if somebody got elected, we didn't like who got elected, we could reduce that wage.
Right.
So and I don't understand.
I think we're going to agree to disagree.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
You have your legal opinion. We're going to have a court decide what's going to happen. But I really would like this board to vote with the accurate information. And that information the information that was given was way off, not even close. I don't think you guys are able to make an accurate decision when the information was so off.
Judd, do you have your information that we can review?
On this information that Tanya passed out, right below the underlined section, it says occasionally boards do not resolve all such issues by November 1st. But it doesn't go on to say what takes place if that happens. So, maybe we need to look into information about what options there are currently available or not available. Because even in here, it says occasionally that does not get resolved by November 1st.
In respect to that, Commissioner Gideson, that's referring to the case of setting an increase, giving an increase. If we were to read that through, it says occasionally that doesn't happen until after. That's referring to whether there's going to be increases. It was the sentence right before it.
In other words, an increase can happen at any time, but to lower wages.
But the law is very, when we read the law, shall be fixed. This is an annual thing, so it's not at the beginning of a term, it's annually, shall be fixed and not diminished once it's fixed. You set a wage, you fixed a wage. You shouldn't be able to go back and say, I'm gonna choose this one over this one. You fixed a wage and you diminish that wage after you fix it, after November 1.
And those that voted, were you voting for a salary? Did that salary increase or include all that was encompassing? Was it the wage increases and the 5%, a total salary?
Tim, you had asked if we have numbers, and I do. It's
I want to see them in writing. You're making accusations that I know that the numbers I presented to this board are accurate that came out of my office. You're sitting here without any written I provided documentation for them, for you to see on paper. That has not been provided to this board today for them to even look at to make any type of alteration or reconsideration because we don't have the numbers in front of us. I would like to see that. It's been 2 weeks since the last board meeting. Obviously, the elected officials have had discussion on this. Not one of you have come to my office and say, hey, look, this is what we think it is. How do we get to the point as adults that we can't sit down together and look at numbers and say, maybe you have it wrong, Tim. If I have it wrong, I'll admit it's wrong.
I never saw your numbers. I
handed them all. They were at the last meeting.
I didn't do a copy.
And I'm happy, Tanya, to sit and go through it with you. But between Linda and Jody and myself, I think those numbers are accurate. But I can't have an educated response to it if we don't have your numbers to sit down and do a comparison to. And I'm disappointed that here we are today in a public meeting, and not one of you have called me up to say, I think it's different. Can we discuss it?
I thought we asked for.
We did. The numbers, what you rescinded were 5 elected position wages and 9 non-elected. I got the numbers off Jody's sheet that she put together of those positions. About 32,000 were the non-elected. That includes the net of the revenue that comes in, because CCF is 100% funded. and front of the court is 67% funded. So I think, Tim, when you provided your numbers, you didn't take in consideration that we get that reimbursed. And then the 5 elected positions was a little over 51,000. So between the two groups of non-elected and elected, it's a little over 80,000. I think the number you provided the board was these 14 positions. And then also you must have included the full-time positions that they were choosing to approve. I think you also must have included the 4 positions that were going from 37 and a half hours to 40 hours. And I'm not sure what else you included because I never saw the
That was all
spreadsheet.
inclusive in that, yes. That was
That's,
everything. It wasn't just your wages. It was
Right.
the part-time positions going to full-time. All that was inclusive in there. So they had a complete breakdown of what each item was going to be.
we felt like when that was presented to the board, that number was representing what they were rescinding.
But that 237,645, when you times that by 5, that don't even equal $1.2 million. These numbers were not correct.
Tanya, did your numbers include the chief deputies?
It included only the chief
Fine.
deputy clerk, because those are the ones that were rescinded. So what you rescinded, those are the wages we thought, I wasn't even aware, being on the budget team, I wasn't even aware you guys were considering rescinding. I was surprised too, so I wasn't even aware to even talk to you about it. You didn't talk to me, and I helped you with the budget.
That happened at one.
Nobody knew they wanted to do that before the meeting, right before it started?
I did. Because I felt with some of the public comments that were made and looking at what our budget was, it seemed like it was too much, which I stated, I believe, at the last board meeting, when we rescinded that.
Yeah, $1.2 million, I would agree with that, if that was true.
What you rescinded was just over $80,000. And the 5 positions that I don't believe lawfully you could rescind is just over 51,000, which included wages by January. And that is on Jody's sheet that she provided everybody. Jody did put those numbers together.
I would like the board to move forward.
Mr. Gregory, did we share our legal opinion that we just received this morning with the elected officials?
We have not at this point.
Okay, because that has changed my thought process. I'm blunt, I didn't see how our intent, original intent, October 21st, to set the salaries, which, by the way, I voted against, could be rescinded, because I know our intent was to set it. It was like a la carte, you could pick some of it, you couldn't rescind, and some of it you could. But after hearing part of the legal opinion from this morning, then that's changed my thought process. Are we gonna share that?
Well,
I mean,
again,
there's no secrets here.
no. You guys have your legal opinion. And like I said, we could find 5 that would agree with
But
us.
you requested this written opinion.
The sheriff requested it, yes, he did.
And it will be shared with the sheriff. Our legal opinion is,
I would like to add, we have 2 more meetings in December. We can still change or go back to whatever this board decides. Even if we set the budget today, that's just a proposal, and we certainly have a month to resolve this, and perhaps that was our problem in the first place. We didn't think about this very much. We didn't contemplate enough options. It was presented to us on October 21st. We had to vote because we were told the 1st of November, elected officials' wages had to be set. So I would propose that we keep an open mind. We communicate, everything is open, truthful, honest, and we resolve this before the first of the year.
Some of the notes that I had written down in that one meeting where we went over all this. There was a motion to set non-union elected officials and department heads at 5% for 2026. That particular motion passed. And then I think the additional increases were above and beyond that. So the 5% is not tied into what was
It's a salary.
proposed, right?
It's a salary. And what the law states is the salaries to be set.
Well, the 5% is added to the salary.
Right, and the additionals are the total salary. Like I said, only a court can truly determine what the meaning really means. So, put you guys on the spot. You guys got your opinions, we got our opinions. Any other discussions?
Will you be sharing your legal opinion with us?
Yes.
Tanya, did you, the day when that transpired at the last meeting, were you sitting over there with a balanced budget with all those numbers in there?
Yes, right now in your budget, Tim gave you today, there's like 85,000 in the black because we had totally balanced it. We had met as a full board and worked out and had compromises, and all the departments came together and helped each other and balanced the budget. You were all on board, and then the next meeting, with no warning, total surprise, wages were rescinded.
So all those items that we went through individually in the October 21st meeting, that was included in the balanced budget.
Yes, they were.
It was a zero balance. There was nothing going into the fund balance.
Which is how you usually do. Usually, if you have extra, you would put it to your contingencies. You want to budget every dollar.
Comments from the board?
The only ones they're looking at is the elected officials. The only ones that they're looking at is elected officials.
Correct.
They're not looking at the others that we use.
No, here's the bigger picture here, okay? We feel the law is on our side with the elected officials, but when it comes down to this, if it wasn't for the wages, let's say it was something else out of their budget. You said, bring a balanced budget. We compromised and came with a balanced budget. Insert what else in there, and you took it away. How are we supposed to negotiate in the future in good faith if you guys do that? Why would we want to make
What I'm
compromises?
asking right now is what's on the table is the elected officials,
That's what we're speaking
just the elected officials.
Correct. And right now, as it stands, the elected officials are receiving a 5% increase to their salary
Right.
going into the 26 budget year. Not the additionals that we approved and then rescinded.
Any further?